Welcome back to the After Contract Hours podcast, the show where we clock out at work to check in on the well-being of the world. If this is your first time joining me, hi, I'm your host, health and physical education teacher and health psychology specialist, Courtney Heidorn, and I am so grateful that you're here. In this podcast, we explore the intricacies of life and celebrate the extraordinary journeys of remarkable individuals. And today's episode promises to be nothing short of inspiring. Why this episode matters. Have you ever felt unsure of how to truly embrace and express yourself in a particular stage in life, stressed over wondering if you truly ever fit in? In a world where societal expectations often cast a shadow over the beauty of aging, today's episode is a beacon of inspiration. Join us as we unravel the extraordinary life of Christy Wilson-Smith, a beloved retired choir teacher who shatters stereotypes and embraces the richness of every moment. Her journey, marked by resilience, accolades, and overwhelming adversity, serves as a reminder that life's chapters only grow more vibrant with age. By delving into Christy's narrative, we aim to challenge preconceptions about aging, instill a sense of optimism, and celebrate the indomitable spirit that comes with living life to its fullest. My original vision was to categorize today's topic into the social health realm, but after some processing, I felt that most of the content falls into emotional health, with some social health qualities, and you'll soon find out why. Meet Christy. Get ready to shift your perspective on aging as we sit down with a true force of nature. She's not just a former teacher. She's a beacon of resilience, passion, and accomplishment. Christy is no stranger to accolades. A remarkable educator, she's been crowned Teacher of the Year, not once, not twice, but an astounding 7 times. Recognized in Who's Who American Educators, Who's Who American Women, and Who's Who in America, her impact on education is truly exceptional. With 40 years of teaching under her belt, Christy's influence extends way beyond the classroom. As a youth pastor for 3 decades, she's been a guiding light for countless young lives. And if that wasn't enough, she's also a celebrated choral guest clinician, leaving an indelible mark on the world of music. In 2024, Missouri Magazine declared her the best personality, a title well earned through her infectious positivity and unwavering commitment to making a difference. But that's still not all. In 2023, she defied stereotypes and was crowned Miss Missouri Senior America, something that I was so grateful to be part of and witness myself as she walked across that stage and received this title. What a beautiful memory. A breast cancer thriver, Christy embodies the spirit of embracing life's challenges head on. Additionally, she holds a well-deserved place in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame for women's golf, a testament to her excellence and achievements in yet another domain. I giggle because I've never met someone personally who holds so many incredible titles in life, and this was by far the best introduction I've ever whipped up for someone on this podcast. And it is well-deserved, Christy, well-deserved. And finally, what to expect. Get ready to explore the highs and lows, the triumphs and challenges, and the wisdom accumulated over decades of teaching, leading, and thriving. We will navigate through her journey, touching on pivotal moments, life lessons, and the unwavering positivity that defines her. Whether you're here to gain insights into education, leadership, or simply seeking inspiration, this episode promises a captivating exploration of a life well lived, and that will only continue to prosper. So, settle in, open your mind, and let the incredible story of Christy unfold. Our hope is that by the end, you'll not only appreciate the richness of her experiences, but also find valuable takeaways to enrich your own journey.
Okay, let's go.
So today we have one of my favorite human beings on the planet, and I know I say that about a lot of people. I just love so many people. I do, but I mean it. I have a lot of favorites. I do have to say, before we even get into introductions, I have to share this because it's still on my mind, and it just goes to show how well we know each other. I'm gonna tell the world this. She was coming over and to my apartment, and I'm in the kitchen, and I knew she was going to show up relatively soon. The time was coming, And I hear I hear heel clicks on the concrete. So I was like, oh, surely that's her, on her way.
Who else wears heels?
Yeah. And I hear, but I knew it wasn't at my door, and I instantly just thought, oh no, she's at a different house. And knowing her, that is totally something that she would do, and same, me too. So I go to my door and I open it, and we have like a pod of 4 doors. She wasn't at any of those, and I was like, oh gosh. So I stepped out onto the concrete and I looked down the hall. She wasn't there, and I tried to listen to see if I could hear the homeowner that she actually was at open the door, and I was just waiting for the interaction of, hi. Oh.
Well, I was actually going, Courtney.
You whispered?
Courtney. Yes. So they know your name now.
It was amazing. It was that could not have gone more perfect. I did not. Oh my God. And then she came to the door, and the first thing she said when I opened it was, I went to the wrong door. Well, they weren't there. They didn't open.
We don't think. Or they peeked out and went, oh, there's a lady dressed all in black, and we're not opening the door.
And whispering, Courtney.
Open the door.
Oh, I seriously could not have asked for a better introduction to seeing you, because I haven't seen you. May doesn't even count last year because you were so busy.
Oh, yeah, no.
We'll talk about that wonderfulness later. But prior to that, when was the last time? When we got a massage? Something.
Probably the massage.
Probably. It's been a long time, so I'm already in tears, like giggling. This is who she is.
We were trying to get this really nice massage, and we get up afterwards, and my hair's like sticking straight up, and she just busts out laughing. I'm like, what? My hair's like, ugh. She goes, your hair.
It looked like she woke up in a new century. She was like, she sat up and her eyes were all crossed. Didn't we take a picture? We did. I've taken him there. Beijing Foot Spa, by the way, everyone.
Yes. Oh, it's amazing.
Fire. Have you been there since?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So good. We have something stupid happen to us. When I say stupid, I just mean like that hilarious, just not massage-like not calm, like total opposite, ambiance. We always have something going on. His masseuse, we went a couple weeks ago. She was so tiny, so strong and tiny, but he said that he's so tall and long, and she had to mount him for a second to get to something, and she knelt on his thigh fat, and he just went, oh, I just hurt him. Just all there's always something.
My friend, we went one time, and the lady was like, I hear whispering, you got baby in there? Oh. And my friend goes, what? And she goes, you got baby?
In her belly?
Yeah, you got baby in there? And she goes, nope. Oh. And I go, it's just ranch dressing. And then I couldn't quit laughing the whole massage. I couldn't relax.
You couldn't stop thinking about it.
I'd be quiet, and then I'd go,
yes. Yes.
Oh, well, that's an introduction. There you
go. Welcome. This is Christy. She's amazing. Let that all speak for itself. She's a hoot. But we're going to be talking about social health and really focusing on her lifespan. She's still young and vibrant, but she has so much life. And I always tell her she lives so fearlessly. And she and I met at the middle school that I first taught at. Fell in love with her right away. She was the mentor that I always wanted in a woman other than my mom, and just I latched onto her big time. So it is an honor to have you here, and we're going to be learning about what it's like to age gracefully and and not, I love how you put it in Facebook, our chat, not live in a box that society puts you in.
Oh, yeah.
And always chase after your dreams. Don't let age get in the way. So we have a lot of golden nuggets from her, and I'm so excited. So let's start with childhood. What was that like for you?
Well, as you see, I'm dressed all in black because I grew up in a funeral home. Not by the funeral home, but in a funeral home. My bedroom was here, the embalming room was here, the casket room was here, and the chapel was here. And then our house was back this way. So, I remember as a young child running through the funeral home, if there was someone that had passed away, we weren't allowed in there.
Yeah.
But, ballerining ballerina-ing.
Right? We make up words on this podcast.
Yeah, we do. And I'm good.
Yes.
Ballerina-ing through the chapel. And hearing my dad, when he would embalm, he'd turn on a radio. And the house was a big, huge, like we took up one whole block of the town. And I would hear him turn on his radio, and I'd yell through the vent, "Who died?" As a child, and he'd go, "Mrs. So-and-so, go back to sleep." Okay.
God love him.
And so I started singing singing at funerals when I was like 9, 10 years old.
How did you get into singing?
I was the only one in the family that could sing besides my dad. And he was just like, "You're going to sing this hymn at this funeral."
And you're like, cool.
And so I just started singing it. So I would be outside playing cars in the dirt because I am a huge tomboy. And I would come in, and luckily we were behind a little curtain screen thing, so nobody ever saw me. And I would come in and sing, "His eyes on the sparrow," which I never want to sing in my life again. And we would, so I just started singing.
Oh my gosh. And how old were you? You said 9?
9 or 10,
That's crazy.
I started singing at funerals.
So random question, rewind. When you said embalm, what does that mean?
Where you preserve the body.
Okay.
After
I didn't know
they
that
die,
meant.
you take the blood out and put embalming fluid in.
Okay.
So the
Gotcha.
preserves the body for funerals.
Gotcha. So since we're talking about, living fearlessly, being yourself unapologetically, so at that young age, did you have a lot of friends being someone that worked and lived in a funeral home? Like, was it weird to...
It was weird. Like, we would have slumber parties, and sometimes they'd have to be canceled because someone passed away.
Yeah.
We also owned the ambulance service, so we were everything. And no, it wasn't convenient like everyone thinks. My dad never lost a patient in the ambulance ever.
Oh, wow.
In the 30 years we were there. So, he did great. But some people were hesitant to come to the funeral home, but my good friends, they were all good with it.
Yeah, they understood. They loved you for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who I was,
Yeah.
I was just...
So kind of expand upon that. What does that mean to you?
We were considered the rich people in town. And this is a town of 400 down South Missouri by the Current River. It's actually, they still get out of school to deer hunt.
Oh, wow.
They because it's a Shannon County was the poorest county in the state of Missouri. And probably still is. I'm not sure. Wow. But so the community was very tight with only being 400 people, but we were the rich people because we owned the funeral home, which was huge, and we had 2 cars, an ambulance and a hearse.
Isn't it the hearse is what
you put the casket in at the end? Yeah, and the ambulances back then were station wagons.
Oh my gosh.
You just put the cot in there. And,
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, everybody just kind of accepted us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we moved to Sedalia, Missouri, my sister was going, my dad, we'd sold our funeral home and he was working for another one, and they get out of school, and this girl goes, "I'll walk over with you." She was I think 8th grader that time, 7th or 8th. And where my dad works, and the girl goes, "Where?" And she goes, "There." And she's like, "Where?" And my sister goes, "There, the funeral home." And the girl literally looked at her, screamed, and ran away.
Wow.
Like it scared her that much.
Wow.
I know. The dog's hearing something.
You're sensing something.
So.
Wow. So that's amazing.
But growing up, I really didn't care what anybody thought. I did my own thing. My best friend called me slobbers because as you can tell, I have a lisp and I do slobber. But called me slobbers, and you didn't take offense back then. You just went, okay.
Yeah.
I started to do band, and all the girls were picking their flutes and clarinets, and I picked trumpet and French horn.
Yep.
Girls did not play brass instruments back then. I did.
You did.
Because I wanted to be different. I just didn't care.
Now,
I
did
did
you,
not care.
when you say you wanted to be different, is that what your motivation was for picking that? Or
No,
you were just drawn?
I just didn't care.
It was just your natural...
I loved...
Yeah.
My dad would always play classical music in the funeral home when he was working. And I loved Handel and Beethoven, and I loved the French horns. And you have to start on trumpet before you can go French horn. So I was dragging, here's my little girlfriends with their little flutes and clarinets. Here's me dragging French horn.
Did people make fun of you for that back then?
No.
Good.
Not
That's
at all.
good. Did we bond over handbells? Did you do handbells too?
I did.
It was one of my favorite times of my life.
When I had the teachers play handbells.
Oh my gosh.
Hot mess.
Oh my gosh.
Hot mess.
Oh.
They were like, ding, ding, ding.
Did I do that?
I think you did.
It's coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Where did we go?
We didn't go anywhere. We did it for my Christmas concert.
Okay.
At
Yes.
Winsville.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That seems so freaking long ago.
It was long ago.
It is coming back to me now. Memory unlocked. Yes. Yes. I couldn't play music. That was the one. Well, not one. Many
And you just had
things.
to count 1, 2,
Ding. Yes. Or the ding. And then yeah. Yes. Yes. Mark did it too. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Mark Tiernan did it. Shout out to Mark again.
Dr.
Tiernan.
Dr. Tiernan.
Right? So great. Yeah, he did the big ones. That's how he and I bonded big time because you would never think that he'd be doing handbells.
Right,
But he was like,
right.
I loved it.
It is fun.
It is.
fun.
Something about it. So, okay, that was teenage, Christy? Or like younger, a little younger?
Yeah, that was younger. That was elementary. Then
Okay.
My junior high year is when things started getting a little dicey because some girls moved in from the St. Louis area.
Oh, boy.
And this one girl decided she didn't like me at all. And I don't know why. Like, she didn't like me at all. And she was mean. And I was really naive. I really was. I didn't realize that she was being mean to me because she didn't like me. I just thought that's the way she was.
Yeah.
And in Winona, you can be homecoming queen. They have a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior representative. And seniors always won it. Well, fast forward to my freshman year, and I got homecoming queen.
Wow.
In 1972. 72. And
Emphasis.
she threatened to beat me up. Like, I couldn't walk home from school because she was going to beat me up because seniors always won it. And she wasn't even from there.
Oh, my God.
But about that time, the mentality, and I love my friends and everything, but you didn't look forward. And I didn't realize that. So like in 8th grade, you better have yourself a boyfriend. And if you got a job at the cap factory, they made baseball caps. If you got a job at the cap factory, you were good to go. When you got that 8th grade diploma, that was really saying something. And my dad was like, no, you girls are going to college. And he sold the business because of that. I didn't realize until adulthood the sacrifices my parents made to make sure that we were successful. But I was so mad at him mad at mom and dad both for moving us out of Winona. I didn't understand.
Right.
But he was like, you girls will go to college. And we did. And I, to this day, I am thankful for what they did.
Yeah.
Because they helped mold me to who I was. And so then we moved to Sedalia, and they called me the Gomer Pyle of Smith Cotton High School because I talked like this. And it wasn't a Southern accent. It was definitely hillbilly, which is something to be proud of, I think. I loved my accent.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, oh, little Southern girl coming in here. Smith Cotton was 1,000 people. That was double the town I came from.
Yeah, right.
And once again, I was kind of wandering around like, do. No idea. And somebody asked me if I wanted to try out I was in band. And of course, I was one of 7 French horn players, and I was the only girl.
Yep.
And I remember sitting the first day in band, and I was sitting like this. I had my foot up under here, and I had my French horn, and I was playing. And the band director is back in the day. You'll hear me say that a lot. When teachers could say whatever they wanted to. Right. And he'd say, oh, we've got a new girl in band today. And there's about 200 people in the band. And he goes, see that little one over there with the French horn? Well, she has to put that leg up under there because she grew up in them there hills. And she's got to make that brain straight. And I remember just like, and everybody was laughing and putting my leg down. It's like, okay. And then somebody decided they wanted to be my friend and asked me if I wanted to try out for New Score, which I didn't know what that was. And it was a show choir, which I didn't know what that was. And so I went in, and I remember the judges being there, and they said, introduce yourself. And I said, hi, my name's Christy Clary. I'd like to sing People from Funny Girl. And then I immediately went into people who need people, not with the accent. And this is something when I teach my choir students, it's like, think of Keith Urban, who's from Australia. Well, I can't do an Australian accent, but, he sounds country. So you do that. So they started calling me Gomer Pyle of Smith Cotton High School.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, in Winona, we only got 2 TV stations. I didn't know who Gomer Pyle was. So I went, okay, Gomer Pyle.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
so then through band, a baton twirler, leading the band, drama, I got into theater. And of course, I made it into the show choir. And so my high school years were pretty much about music. Finding my way. I was going to be a band director my whole life.
Yeah. Did you know that real young?
I wanted to either be a 7'2" volleyball player or a ballerina.
Yes.
Nor do I have the height, nor do I have the body for ballerina-ing. So
Ballerina.
choir,
Yep.
band and choir.
Yeah,
that was it.
See, that's what another episode I did. It's like not many people ever have that like, like little kids and be astronaut, be ballerina, right? But you still were very young when you had that aha moment.
Yeah, I did not want to be a mortician.
Yeah, you knew that right away.
I knew that.
That's good. That's good. And a lot of families and family businesses, sadly, don't care what their kids have to say, and they impress that upon them, right? So that's really beautiful that you didn't have to go through that, and you had that supportive. Now, did you, like how you said, your parents and your dad particularly said, like, you guys are going to college. Prior to him saying that to you, did you know that you always wanted to go? Yeah, he was just like, you're doing it.
I didn't even think about high school.
Yeah.
You had that 8th grade diploma, you were golden.
Mm-hmm. That's all you needed to be something. Yeah.
So, by the time I got my being an outsider coming into Smith Cotton was different, but I made my way, and I was definitely myself the whole time, whatever that means. I mean, I didn't conform to the popular girls. I was nice to everybody. Like, I can't what's the word?
Reiterate.
Reiterate. I can't. How the kids today just need to know, just be nice. Yeah. Be yourself. Always be yourself. But be nice to other people that aren't like you.
Yeah, right.
Like, nobody wants to be like me. So be nice. Just be nice. And so I was that. So my senior year, I got the lead in the musical my junior and senior year. Senior year, I was in all-state choir. Or actually junior and senior year, I made all-state choir, which was really, really, that was a phenomenal thing to learn to do too. And then I was homecoming queen for,
oh my gosh.
I didn't get queen. I was homecoming queen candidate, and it was only 3 senior girls. And I was one of them, and I was like, well, why is the new girl getting it? It's because I was nice to everyone, period.
Yep.
I wasn't popular, but I was nice. And that was the coolest thing, because there's always a lot of competition when you're up for homecoming queen. Everybody wants to win it. 2 of us had moved in, and 1 had been there since she was in kindergarten. We went ahead and told everybody, vote for her.
Yeah.
Like, she deserves it. And that homecoming week was so much fun, because the 3 of us just had a blast. Because we knew who was going to win. Yeah. It was not a big deal. We were honored to be up for it.
Oh,
so that was pretty cool.
I love that. Another interesting thing, too, as you were speaking, when you say that I didn't conform to one of the popular girls. So back in the day, right, like, what was a popular girl like for you back then? Like, is it different today?
It was the ones with money. You could always tell the ones with money, who got to do dance lessons, who got to do singing lessons, who got to do all that stuff. I never had any of that. It was the girls who always went around and stole every other girl's boyfriend.
Yeah.
That happened a lot. But those were the popular girls, and it's so funny when you fast forward to the 10-year, the 20-year reunion.
Not so much. I was just talking about that with a colleague the other day too.
Not so much. It's like, wow, where did all that meanness, and where did it get you? In life, it didn't get you anywhere.
Yep. That's a powerful lesson.
Yes.
Like just being kind to people, because we're going to continue to
But we
unfold
keep
your story.
saying that, and people aren't.
Yeah.
And I will be the first one at a restaurant or something to stand up. I just did it last week.
Really?
Yes.
What happened?
These two guys were harassing. We were at Texas Roadhouse, and they were harassing the waitress, and you could tell she was nervous and she was young, and she walked away almost in tears, and I said, hey, could you guys loosen up a little bit? And they're like, well, who do you think you are? And I said, it doesn't matter who I am. I said, she's doing the best she can. I said, and nobody wants to work now. She's working and serving you.
Yeah.
And they were like, they called me a name and whatever. And it's a wonder I didn't throat punch.
Right,
No, I'm
right,
kidding. I don't
right.
throat punch anyone. I just threaten to.
I'm all
That's
I'm
my
all
favorite
bark.
thing to say.
I'm all bark.
Throat punch. But anyway, so I called the manager over, and I said, I just want you to know that these guys are trying to get their meal for free is what they were doing. And I said, she has done nothing wrong. So yeah, I can't keep my
You're
mouth
not a
shut.
bystander.
No.
Yeah, you're the
no,
advocate.
never have been.
I know for a fact that in my adult life, when I met you, that was one of millions of things that I latched onto, because even if I wasn't going through something, I really admired seeing how you advocated for your colleagues or students or just yourself and your husband, stories I got to learn about your life. I was in awe of you, genuinely. I could get emotional thinking of it, because I never had a backbone because of other situations. I finally started to slowly develop one, but I admire people so much that are appropriate advocates. Like, there's a difference, in my opinion, between like you just being loud to be loud and you don't have a healthy communication method and you're not really getting your proper point across because you're being an idiot. And then people that handle themselves with class to some extent, right? That's going to be heard better.
When you go to class, like we had this young man that lived when we moved to Sedalia that lived down the street from us, and he would always come up, and my sister and I would be twirling our baton, getting ready for the halftime shows. Mm-hmm. And he would come up and make fun of her, and he'd go, "Quack, quack, chicken legs." And I kept saying, you need to stop. And he was like way bigger than us, whatever. And one day he came up and she started crying, and it hit me, and I took off down the street after him with my baton.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the adrenaline got me, and I caught him. And I
You beat him.
I whacked him just one time across the back, and it was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
And guess what? He never made fun of my sister again. And 40 years, 50 years later, he runs into her and he goes, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she
Stop.
goes, "I'm good." And he goes, "Remember that time your sister hit me across the back with a baton?" And she goes, "No, I don't, but I'm sorry." And he goes, "Oh no, I totally deserved
Oh.
it." So yeah, so I just
That's
don't make me
huge.
snap.
Right.
I do have a baton, and I'm not afraid to
Use
it.
it? How long were those? Like,
Not like that. Well,
yeah.
arm length.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's freaking awesome. But that's fantastic. Like, there's not enough people in the world that are like that. And even still being a teacher and looking at it, it's just getting worse and worse. Like,
Yes.
more kids are more silent, especially because of COVID and ruining social skills and the confidence.
Yes, social skills. Ugh.
So bad. So speaking of confidence, you and I kind of mentioned off camera as we were chatting about this episode how outwardly you probably came off to everybody that you had the utmost confidence, but internally that was the last
Yes.
thing you felt. So talk about that.
I am the most insecure person you will ever meet.
Oh my gosh.
But nobody knows it. I've learned how what I say, put on the mask of what people the mask scared her. From the mask. Please don't.
You should.
Put on the mask of what, being confident and whatever, when I'm really not. That's funny.
Sorry.
That was good timing, wasn't
Right.
it?
I'm so sorry. Oh my God. So putting on the mask, you were good at doing that.
Yeah, I was good at doing that. And I never had a lot of confidence. I did like taking up for people. As an adult, I was a youth leader, and I went to do a conference, and I was the worship leader for 350 high school students. Mm-hmm. Get up on stage, da-da-da, really good at what I did, got them all in, but I didn't eat a meal that entire week because I didn't know any of the adults, and I was scared to go to the cafeteria by myself. I didn't want to go to the cafeteria and stand there and go, I have no one to eat with.
Yeah.
Finally, the last day, someone said, "Hey," I mean, I had food. I wasn't starving. Do I look like I'm starving? I'm not starving. But, they asked me to go, and so I did. Well, of course, if anything's weird's going to happen, it will happen to me. I put in a cherry tomato in my mouth, and I bit down on it, and it's all over the guy across the other youth. I'm like, sorry. It's like, that's why. Sorry, slobber, sorry. It's like, that's why I didn't eat here all week.
Right. That's what something would happen. Oh my gosh. So were you in high school? You felt that same way too?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I kept trying to find my
validation?
way and my people, and I don't think I ever did. And I actually thought at one time that I had turned into a mean person. And the last reunion we went to, I went out before the reunion with about 5 girlfriends, and they were like, you were never one of the mean, ever were you one of the mean people. And I'm like, are you sure? But I think sometimes we get so caught up in our own brain that we think we're something and we're really not. And I was like, because I said, I apologize if I was ever mean. And they were shocked. So in my mind, I thought, well, maybe I turned into one of those, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm glad.
Right. No, that's huge. But I get that. I mean, when I reflect on, I was literally just having this conversation with somebody at work the other day. We were reflecting on high school days, and it's Valentine's Day next week, and at school we're selling little 50-cent message things. And although I love that and that's so cute, my inner child remembers that, the empath in me. I get secondhand embarrassment. You get it too. We bond so much on that feeling, for others. And I just remember in middle school, carnations being sold. And if you got white, that meant whoever sent it to you meant that you guys were good friends. Pink meant that you had a crush on them, or that you liked them. And then red meant you loved them. And I remember there was this boy that me and I had just come to learn that my best friend at the time, we both liked him, but I had liked him way longer, whatever. But the people pleaser in me was like, oh, cool, whatever, no problem. Well, I think we both sent him a carnation. I don't remember if it was red, but we both sent him one, and we were in the same homeroom. So when they got delivered, it was like Mean Girls, none for you, Glen Coco, or whatever. So sad.
I know.
I remember latching onto that more, just seeing other people. And I don't even know if I ever got any. I mean, friends sent them, but I just remember really feeling horrible for other people.
Yeah, I still do.
Yes.
I still do.
It's heartbreaking. I remember his name was Max. He got both of the flowers from me and my friend, and I was sitting luckily, where I was sitting in class was behind, so he didn't see my face, but my friend was sitting adjacent to him, so she could kind of get the whole view. And he looked at mine and then looked at hers, and he picked up hers and snapped the flower in half. I'll never forget.
Oh my gosh.
And we never dated.
Yeah.
It was never even a thing with me and him, but I'll never forget that moment. And where I could have felt he picked me, I felt soul crushed that he just did that to somebody. And oh my gosh, I hated it. But I was very similar to you too. Outwardly, I was very expressive, confident seeming, friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Mom always told me every day before school, make someone smile today, compliment somebody, probably to the point where it came off fake, because that was my goal, was to go home and make my mom proud that I did that. Yeah. And I didn't know anybody. I'd be like, your teeth are pretty. Or I would just go up to people and say something.
Here comes that weirdo.
Yes! That was me. That was so me. So annoying. So annoying. But I also still was always seeking this internal, external validation, because I hung out with the popular girls because we all did sports together, and they were really smart, and I loved being around studious people. I loved school too, and they helped me. But I knew I was always the black sheep. I'm I don't fit in with, I don't have money.
I think I fit in, but I didn't think I fit in.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
Even when I went to college, I was going to go to Central Missouri at the time, which is called, I don't know what it's called now, in Warrensburg. Mm-hmm. And William Woods University offered me a full ride scholarship, pretty much. I owed $3,600 when I got out of college.
Heck yeah. Right?
I know.
Gosh.
But it was an all-girls college at the time, and I didn't know what I was getting into. Mm-hmm. Neither did my parents, because there was an all-boys school a block away.
Oh,
just saying. But I did not realize, I went from the firing, or the pan to the fire. It was these were the rich girls. Rich girls. Like two girls in my sorority were under assumed names so they wouldn't get kidnapped.
Wow.
I didn't even know what that meant. One girl walks in, she goes, "Hey, you want to see my house?" And I'm like, "Sure." Plops down on my bed, throws down Better Homes and Gardens. Her home was featured in Better Homes and Gardens. And it was right next door to where Nixon did some of his tapes or whatever. And she was climbing a fence to peek in, and the security got her. And so, I had no idea. Like, I could name names of businesses here in the St. Louis area that I went to school with their kids.
Wow.
So much money.
Wow.
So there I learned how to fake it. Everybody would come home at Christmas and come back with new wardrobe. So would I, because I would exchange with my sister.
Yeah.
One time my dad was making a call in the Fulton area, and he had the family car, which was a black limousine. And he pulls up in front of the sorority house, and I was in a sorority because I had a scholarship to be in that too. But I learned, nobody knew I didn't have money. Nobody knew it. So he pulled up, and they're like, "Miss Christy, there's somebody out there in a black limousine." I'm like, "Oh, it's my dad." Well, they didn't realize my dad was driving it.
Yeah.
And it belonged to the funeral home. I never let them know that it wasn't my dad that was driving it. They thought my dad had come to see me, and the chauffeur had dropped him off, because that's what they were used to. So I felt then like I'm living two different lives. I'm living the life that the rich, that they want me to be, and I'm living my country life when I'm not there.
Wow. What did that do to your well-being?
I don't think it was good.
Yeah.
I don't think it was good. It has served me well as an adult sometimes, because even the way I talk, depending on the situation, I can change the way that I talk to fit that group, and therefore they feel more comfortable around me.
Yeah. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. I felt that in my soul. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It brings them in. So it did have its positives.
Absolutely. I have, not to an extreme, but I've evolved over the past 7 years of my life too. Like, my personality has stayed consistent, but I used to always just be loud, flashy, just vibrant, which I still am, but I'm more aware of other people. And I think this whole mental health, thing that has swept the nation, and everyone's aware of that now. Like, especially with students, I always read the room before I present myself in certain ways, because I don't want to off-put
I do
kids.
that with everything.
Yes.
And, building choir programs. After I got out of college, I, got a teaching job at Lake the Ozarks, and I did not know what I was doing. I really didn't. I did not have a good education. I was actually the last music major to graduate. They closed the program down.
Did they? Oh my gosh.
I was the only one. I was the only music major that graduated my year.
Wow.
So that kind of tells you something. They're built back up, and it's all good now.
Yeah.
And I love my college more than anything. But I got out, and it's like so there's where that starts where I thought that I was being fake. I never felt that I was good enough to be a choir teacher. I never thought that I knew what I was doing. And it's taken until I'm age 65 to realize I was a pretty damn good choir teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the accolades that would come my way, I was like, me? I deserve this? And I never felt worthy of it.
Is this a joke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No,
But I realize now, you don't get to do all the things that you do, and all the things to not be decent at what you're doing.
Right.
But I think my whole thing, I did a conference 2 years ago at Missouri Music Educators Association about how to grow choirs, and I don't know the answer to why I had that many students in every choir, except a lot. I mean, look at this. But no, that they,
But this is why.
They knew, because I cared.
Yes.
I cared. And I could relate to the rich kids, and I could relate to the kids that had nothing. And I could relate to the kids that had the behavioral problems. Those were my favorite kids.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yep. It was like a challenge, to get them.
And they were always so good for me. So good.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have a middle school choir program of 450 kids.
That's so wild.
But once again, I'm like, well, they're just here because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You know, my time at Winsville, I think we had 88 first place trophies in 13 years.
Aren't those what were like lining your room?
And I still didn't think I was a good teacher.
Ugh, really? That's wild.
Because I have teacher envy. I look at other choir teachers and like, their choir is so good. But mine was good. We sang in Carnegie Hall twice.
Yeah.
You don't.
I went on the Six Flags. I went to that trip with you. I remember I went on something with you.
Six Flags
or something. Yeah. And they performed. That was fantastic. Yeah. That's... And not to mention, you just, from when I taught with you, like you won Teacher of the Year 7 times.
Yeah, not at Winsville, but in my career, 7 times.
Total. But wasn't it a couple times at the school we were at?
Yeah, I was twice at Winsville.
Twice there? And weren't both of those in times I was there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because 2020, I was the COVID Teacher of the Year, but it was before we were shut down, which was good.
Because then we all changed. Then. We had mental breakdowns.
My little plaque says 2020 Teacher of the Year. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's a huge honor, though. I remember I genuinely remember thinking that year, whoever got that would be extra special because that was such a hard time. And whoever really stood out.
And technology was not my thing. I would call Courtney constantly crying.
Yeah.
Like bawling crying.
Yes.
I can't do that.
And I'm like, yes, you can. Do you want me to come over?
And it'd always be, yes.
Please. God. Yeah. No, but that is a huge testament. And other people might like scoff at that, like, who cares, Teacher of the Year? That's a big deal, like, in anybody's profession. Like, Employee of the Month is an honor.
Yes.
You know, it's recognizing, like, we're a society that demands more validation, see me, recognize me, which I'm not knocking because we all need that as human beings. We need that encouragement. But yet when someone actually gets it, if it's not you don't have the proper mindset about it. And like, we don't know how to congratulate people and like really take a step back and look at that is a huge deal. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids are voting for that Teacher of the Year. The teachers, everybody in the school is doing that. Mm-hmm. And for you to get it 7 times, that's insane. I'm in year 8
it
and
really
I've
is.
like, that's insane. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it went from high school, like I got it when I taught high school, elementary, and then middle school.
Yeah.
So
where do you have all of those now? Like your little plaques and all those trophies?
They're in a box that says teacher stuff.
Yeah. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Is that what we do with them?
Well, I mean, one of the lessons I've been teaching, I sub every once in a while, and I tell the kids, I like to do what they called Miss Wilson-Smith life lessons, and I have tons of them.
Yes.
But I asked them, I said, okay, we're going to do a little quiz. Name me 5 Heisman Trophy winners. Name me 5 Pulitzer Nobel Peace Prize winners. Name me the last 6 actors and actresses for Academy Award. And I had like 6 of those. Mm-hmm. And they're like, what? And I said, here's the thing. I said, those accolades, the applause dies, the accolades die, the trophies tarnish, and we don't remember them. Mm-hmm. I said, so now name a teacher that impacted your life. Not just one, who helped you. Name friends that have helped you through a hard time. Name somebody that taught you something worthwhile. And sometimes it's not even you taught me this good. Sometimes it's the negative people that come in your life that teach you the worthwhile things. It's like, I learned a lesson. You taught me something worthwhile. I don't want a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. And I said, those are the people that you want to strive to be. And I just taught this yesterday, actually. I said, those are the people you don't want to be. You don't want to be the girl that gets her face marked out in the yearbook.
Right.
And they all related to that.
Yep.
And I said, 20, 30 years from now, when you go to your class reunion, are they going to look at that and be like, oh, I marked your face out in high school. Why did they mark your face out in high school?
Yeah. What were you doing?
It wasn't because you were nice.
Yeah. That's what Jen's really big on that too. I love that so much. It's so powerful. It gave me goosebumps. Jen says that a lot too, of like, when I die, what is my legacy going to be? My dad says that a lot too. It's like, what legacy do you want to
And
leave?
as you get older, you really start thinking that.
Yeah.
You know, my father passed away last year, and I helped him through the end. And I was wondering why I had retired. Like, why did I retire? I still
I remember
had a
you
lot.
battling that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when he got really ill and begged me not to let him go to a nursing home, I was able to go down the best that I could as a choir teacher. I kept saying, I'm a choir teacher, I'm not a nurse.
Yeah.
But I got to give him that. And then he asked me to officiate his funeral. And I said, Dad, I can do a lot, but I can't. And 63 years old, damn it, I want it done right. I don't care if you're 63 years old. When you're dead,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I'll
Daddy.
do it.
Yeah.
And so I did. But he goes, don't even worry about it. He goes, all my friends are dead. And he goes, there's not going to be anybody there. I walked to the pulpit in the church, and it was packed. And it was packed with older people, and it was packed with young people. My dad had no idea the impact he had on all those lives. And the first thing I said was, Dad told me not to do a funeral because nobody would be here. I said, look around. This is a testament to the kind of man he was. And you can only hope that that's you when it comes your time.
Yep. Oh, gosh.
And so I, at age 65, I think about that a lot. I think, what have I left in this world? Mm-hmm. And I was in the Springfield Christmas Parade as my new title. And it was so cool to I was in the back of a Corvette, and no, I didn't fall off.
Yeah.
Which is something in its own
accomplishment.
But I'm like waving, and I hear, Christy, and I look over, and it was this adult woman who I had taught in high school. She is now a retired choir teacher.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, and then, on down is these adult people that remembered me when I taught there 30-some years ago, 40-some years ago.
And those are the best things, like trophies, right? The tarnished trophies in a box, like, clearly is a testament to, like, that's not what matters. It's the impact that you left and people remembering you and what they remember. I mean, even for me with you, like, it feels like forever that I've, taught with you, but I think about you all the time, always follow you on social media, and it was a no-brainer to reach out to. Let's go get lunch, come over, let's do this, like, because you've left that huge impact on me, and you still do, and you don't even realize just through what you're doing online, the people that follow you.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot now.
yeah, I can imagine. So let's actually get into that. So with this episode being about as we age gracefully, and
but here's the thing. I don't know that I'm aging gracefully, but I continue to act the way that I've always been. And I actually I was at a youth pastor's conference, and I actually had a man come up to me and say, are you on drugs?
Like, and insulting?
And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, nobody your age should act that way. I was 50. So let's fast forward 65 or 15 years. I still act that way. I don't care if people think I'm on drugs. This is who I am.
Yep.
And old people shouldn't act like that, and old people shouldn't do that. Okay, well, I'm doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want younger people to know getting older should be something to look forward to.
Yep.
I had one girl, I was speaking in Fulton, Missouri, at a high school there, and she came in, she goes, oh, an old lady. And by the time I got done, she came up and she said, I can't wait to get old. She said, you can say anything you want, you can do anything you want. And I'm like, you're right. It's freeing to be you because it doesn't matter.
Oof, that's good. That's good stuff.
And she goes, I want to be like you.
Right.
I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, you do. But it's kind of like people who just, like, the haters, right? The terminology that we say today. Like, even just happy people. I used to get shamed for, like, always being happy and people thinking that my bubbly personality was fake or flirty.
It's
and
the
like,
way you are.
Inappropriate. And it's just...
Me too. I, like, always, like...
Yeah.
Why do you act like that?
Yeah.
How am I acting? I'm acting like me.
Yep.
It's the only way I know how to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Except that one time when I was quiet and wouldn't go to eat for a week.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. So when we go into the next part.
Do you want to change?
There's no changing.
I'm going to add
so,
our things.
Well, let me see. So my sister and I were sitting one night. So after I retired and after my father passed away, and actually 7 weeks later, my baby sister passed away of a heart attack unexpectedly. And yes, I officiated her funeral too. So we'd had just a really, excuse the language, shitty year.
Yeah.
And I saw this older lady walking around, beautiful with this sash on and a crown. And I'm not a beauty type, I'm not a pageant girl at all.
Tomboy.
I'm a tomboy.
Yes.
Like, we went camping 2 nights ago, and it was, 40 degrees?
Yes,
Like,
that's your
just let me
life.
get dirty and have my s'mores and my wine. And
Yes.
but my sister and I were talking. She said, well, you should do that. I am going to say wine was involved
Full disclosure.
when she talked me into it. And so I signed up to compete as Miss Missouri Senior America. And you have to be age 60 or over. You have to do talent, interview, evening gown, and then you have to write your own life philosophy. Mm-hmm. And that was hard because think of being 65 years old and life philosophy. We've lived so much life.
Yeah, like what can you pick?
I've had my breast cancer. I've had breast cancer, and I stayed positive through all that. The people at the radiation couldn't wait for me to come in because they're like, what's she going to say next?
Right.
Like as I'm laying there getting zapped.
Yeah.
You stay just the positive that you can. But I was like, okay, I can do this. And so the life philosophy that I came up with, because everybody was always, eat healthy and exercise your bodies and mind and spirituality. And yeah, you do all that. But growing up on the Current River, so once again, going back to my childhood,
Your roots.
that's where my life philosophy came. And it has to be 35 seconds or less. I keep saying that because if you go a little bit over, they deduct it. So I do want to do my life philosophy because it's important.
Yes, please.
So have you ever noticed rocks in a river? Some are small and some are large. Some are smooth and some are rough. They're all different, but they're all beautiful. And they work together to guide the river. We are like those rocks. Look around. We are all different, but we're all beautiful. And we work together to guide the river of life. But don't be afraid to make ripples. No matter how small, you never know how far those ripples will reach. It's okay to be different. I'm different and proud of it. So let's work together to make a positive impact in this river called life.
Gosh,
and
I have tears.
I had someone yesterday, a student that I had years and years ago, say, you are still making those ripples.
Yes.
And that was the best thing that someone could have said to me. So fast forward, we're standing at the pageant. I do my thing.
Is this the one that I was at?
Yes.
Okay.
And they named the first runner up, and I was like, yes! I knew who they were going to be. Second runner up, yay! And I'm looking at this other lady because I'm like, she's got it. She's got it. And I was happy. I was fine with that. And I'm looking over at her and smiling, and they're like, Christy Wilson-Smith. And I'm like, what? Like
I have a picture of your face.
Oh, the most hideous. Like, wasn't queenly. Like, oh, thank you.
Did you like how I zoomed in? And
So, I am the current Miss Missouri Senior America 2023. I relinquished my crown in April 28th of 24. These are things that when you go to nationals, other queens give you stuff. And this took a while to learn to wear around.
Gosh!
So, yeah.
You have that down to a science.
I do now.
Yeah.
I do now. There's a ridge in my head. But
Intention.
I have loved this part. Now, did I think I deserved it? No.
You really felt
Once
that.
again.
Yeah, you didn't expect
Like,
it at all.
what?
And I can, again, testify to that because I was there in the audience, which I also want to say that there were a lot of people there that she probably hadn't talked to in a long time, but just speaks to your legacy.
I had students show up
Yes.
that I taught 40 years ago that were in my
Yep.
first class.
Coworkers that we used to work
Coworkers.
with that she may not have talked to because I didn't even talk to you because I knew that you were so busy
Yeah.
and famous. But people were lined up to talk to her, and it was just, again, testifying like this is so beautiful. But it was just the most. I was bawling. My mom came, and we had like the best seat. It was in the middle, high up, so a great view.
Listening to my son yell, way to go, Mom!
Yeah, he was right in front of me. Yes. It was, I cried. I cried so hard. We got the best pictures.
They weren't good pictures. They were not good pictures.
I was like, she's not going to be mad if I do
my
this
God, it
little
was
joke.
horrible.
She's going to laugh.
So it has made me be more me. Mm-hmm. Once again, I never acted like a beauty queen. I never acted like a pageant queen. I have been myself. And we have done, since May 1st, I have done 100. I'm at 128 events at 25 different cities. I've embraced this, and talking about just because you're old, life isn't over. Like there's so much to do. It's so fun, and the parades and meeting people. I've sang at so many nursing homes and retirement villages, and it really kind of brings you back, because one lady called me over and she was sitting in a wheelchair at one of the nursing homes, and she said, "Do you mind if I ask you how old you are?" And I said, "I'm 65." And she goes, "So am I." And it was just like, oh my gosh, I am so blessed.
Right. Yep.
I am so blessed.
Thinking. Yeah.
Because she's sitting in a nursing home in a wheelchair.
Yep.
And can't care for herself. My age.
Yep.
So don't ever act your age. Don't
Yeah.
ever act your age.
Would you say that that's kind of a philosophy, or what's the main philosophy for this?
Be yourself. Be
Totally
you.
Be yourself. Yep.
When I went to nationals, I was very out of my league at nationals, but I would not change anything I did. Would not change my interview answers. I would not change my talent. I wouldn't change anything. And no, I didn't win it, but I tell you, the national queen is amazing. She's a breast cancer surgeon from Dallas, Texas. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's sweet. Best queen ever. And that's someone I did. When I went downstage and I hadn't made top 10, I apologized. I apologized to people. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I let you down. I'm so sorry. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried that I didn't get it. I worried about
Yep.
letting other people down. And I cried for 2 days. Like I just cried. But they said, who do you want to win? And I said, I want Miss Texas to win. And so she came back down to the dressing room. We happened to be in the same dressing room. And she goes, "Was that your family yelling?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I told them, since I didn't get it, you're it. So that was, applauding other women that are 60 and over and love each other. But yeah, it's been interesting. I got hit on by a 90-year-old man at one of the nursing homes.
Oh my gosh, God love him.
Because I said, my choirs sing at a lot of Cardinals games. And he goes, "Well, we go to a lot of Cardinals games." And I turned around, because as a choir director, and I go, "Well, this is the part you would recognize." And he goes, "Yeah, that's your best part."
Oh my gosh.
I stood there for a little bit, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to turn back around. I go, "Good one." That was a good. So I went home and told my husband, I said, "Got hit on, got some competition there."
God. What did he say? He's like, "Okay."
He goes, "Okay."
Charlie.
And then, like at my interview, when we talk about being yourself, so I'm sitting there all perfect at nationals, answering my questions. And then they go, "Is there anything else that you would like to say?" And I go, "No, I believe that's it. Thank you so much." And they're like, "Thank you so much, Miss Missouri." And I got up and I was walking out of the room, and my brain clicked, and I just turned around and I go, "Man, I feel like a woman." And just walked right out of the room. Right out of the room. They were rolling.
Oh, you're like, one more thing.
One more thing.
One more.
And I don't know where it came from. Courtney said, "Was that planned?" No, nothing's planned that comes out of my mouth. That's the problem.
It's not though. It's the best. I do want to say, this might seem like it's out of left field, but I have like tears in my eyes. I keep wiping my eyes. Yes, to what you're all saying, but also my husband's like sitting in the corner. He always helps with this. And I keep kind of like glancing over, and he has just been beaming this whole time. And like, he doesn't know you nearly as well as I do, but that is the impact that you have on people. Like, we laugh at it because we're silly and like we embrace that, but he doesn't know you that well. And he is just, I know him. Well, now he's not smiling. He's just staring at me awkwardly. But he has just been looking at you in the same awe that I have.
It's because I'm...
It is! Hey! It's
But
so
no, I just,
special.
now being a grandma or a baba, they call me
Baba!
Baba. So as I was coming around the corner of the Springfield Christmas Parade, I hear Baba! And then my little 2-year-old grandson's on my son's shoulders, and nothing, like looking over. I did not want to, I'm not a baby person, and I thought I was going to be a really bad grandma.
Yeah.
I'm so in love.
Yes.
But I just want my kids to be so proud of me. I know they are. They are.
Right.
My kids to be proud of me, and my grandkids, I want to
Yes.
give them the confidence that I didn't have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that you do. And I feel like, I don't know your sons very well either, but anytime you've
hilarious.
talked about them, I feel like they do they think they put you in the highest light, the limelight. You know, you've shared with me things that they've said to you on your worst days, and you're just like, oh my gosh, Patrick called me today and said this, and I'm like in your classroom with you, and I'm like, oh.
Well, one of the things, like one of the ladies at the pageant quit because some of the women weren't being nice to her, and she quit like in the middle. And I mean, this is pricey to do this, and she just quit and went home. And I felt good because I said to both of my boys, I said, you know, I was nice to this lady. I really reached out to her and was nice to her. And so then when I didn't win anything, the emails that I got from my sister and or the text messages from my sister and my kids, and it was like, you hold your head high because you were nice to people, and you were you, and you were, it doesn't matter if you have a piece of metal on your head. It's how you impact and how you use that. I've been able to use the crown, not for my glory, but to reach out to other people and impact their lives, hopefully in a positive way. At age 65.
So what's next for you? Like when you say that,
I will continue to, now after I'm done, I will do solo shows at nursing homes and retirement villages and things. And, you know, I sang the national anthem at the Alzheimer's Walk for St. Louis. And I will continue to do things like that. Just whatever. It's opened a door for me to be able to do positive things. I still sub every once in a while. Middle school and high school choir only. You will not see me in a math class.
Don't call me.
Don't ask me to teach science. But, you know, to get out and to speak, to motivational speak to students, and to do clinics. I love doing choir clinics. My last clinic I did was right before I went to nationals, and I had, I think it was 350 sixth graders.
Wow.
From 20 different schools. Brought them together, and I was the guest conductor for that day. I love doing that. I love impacting students. So I'm not done. I've got a lot. I got a lot to do.
Well, world, get ready.
Get ready.
We're going to embrace it.
Because now she doesn't care what she said.
I love it. So last, like, kind of a tidbit. You've said a lot of powerful advice, and I can't even wait
I don't even know what I've said, but
it's all
I'll listen back to it and go,
right.
What?
No. For the young adults out there who may feel lost, they don't really know what their purpose is, they're questioning their level of, you know, self-love, security, confidence. What would you say to them as they progress in life and evolve?
Remain true to you. Don't let what society thinks you should do. I've always been this, society thinks you should do this, and society thinks. Like when I had breast cancer, they were like, well, you can't be happy, you've got breast cancer. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I can either be, oh, poor, pitiful me, or I can go, okay, here's my plan. Let's get it. And same with anything in life. Just be yourself. Don't let someone take you away, because there's only one you. There's only one rock that's smooth, rough, big or little, that helps guide this life. If we were all alike, that would be absolutely horrible.
Yep.
They couldn't take two.
No, they
couldn't take all of us.
It's so true.
Yeah,
Too much.
You know, think at night. Take deep breaths. Here's my thing. Breathe in 8. Hold it for 4. Let it out through your mouth for 7.
Yeah,
you would be surprised what that little thing would do for you.
I'm going to try that.
Oh, that's how I go to sleep at night. Because you have to count 8, hold it for 4, out through the mouth for 7.
And you have to be so focused and present with like.
And within like 3 things, you're asleep. Except mine's like, do it, hold it for 4, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't do laundry. Oh, what color do I want my hair to be this week?
Start over. That's so funny and so true.
So just be yourself. Be yourself. I've survived. I've been myself.
Yes.
And I've survived. And the haters can hate.
Yeah, well, few and far between. I want to ask real quick too, sorry. Your song that you sang for your talent, Que Sera, Sera.
Whatever will be, will be.
Yes.
The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Perfect.
Perfect!
Not singing, but
yes,
words.
it was. But it is. It was perfect singing, number one.
Oh.
But yes, I remember thinking that.
To sing.
I know, I put you on the spot, but I remember that meant something.
Yeah, my mom used to sing it to us. And if you think about those words, what will be, the future's not ours to see. We don't know what our future's going to hold. Mm-hmm. My life has taken so many
yes.
and still continues to take those roads. But it's how you face it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, do I cry at night sometimes? And you get down. You can't be positive all the time.
Absolutely.
And I'm not. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, my students saw me cry.
Yeah, they
saw me cry. My students saw me be crazy. Mm-hmm. We'd get ready to go to contests, and they would say, "Are you going to act like an adult today?" I'm like, "Wait a minute. You guys are the ones being judged. You act right." And they're like, "We're not worried about us. We're worried about you."
Yeah. But that's unapologetically, I can't talk. Unapologetically yourself.
Cool.
Yep.
It's another one of those big words we were trying to use.
I can't. But this was so perfect. Thank you so much for sharing
thank
that.
you.
We're going to have you on for a part 2 because I just feel like there's so much more wisdom.
There's so much
as
more.
we continue to grow, it's going to happen.
Part 2.
Part 2 coming soon. Do you have any final words?
Peace out.
As she stands up. Man. Do it. Get
Man, I feel like a woman. Dun, 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 dun. Woo!
Love it. And cut.
Oh, wait, I always want to say that. And cut.
As we wrap up this extraordinary episode, I hope you're leaving with a renewed perspective on life and the incredible potential that each chapter brings. Christy's journey is a testament to the fact that age is not a limitation, but a canvas for new achievements and adventures. Now, let's dive into our Level Up segment, distilling the wisdom from Christy's story in today's discussion. Number 1, stay true to yourself. Amidst life's twists and turns, Christy's unwavering authenticity stands out. Remember that staying true to yourself, your values, and your passions is the key to a fulfilling and meaningful journey. I recently read a quote that stated, "Those who matter don't care. Those that care don't matter." I thought that was very empowering and relevant to this point. Being unapologetically yourself is something that people who matter in your life won't judge or care about in a negative way. And those that do care or who are bothered by your unique confidence simply just don't matter. Let Christy's authenticity inspire you to be genuine in every chapter of your life. Number 2, embrace change. Life is a constant evolution, and embracing change with open arms allows us to grow and discover new facets of ourselves. Christy's journey is a testament to the beauty that unfolds when we welcome change. Number 3, passion knows no age. Christy's passion for teaching and music never wavered. It's a reminder that true passion transcends age, fueling us to pursue our interests and make a meaningful impact, no matter where we are in life. Number 4, resiliency in adversity. Christy's triumphs over breast cancer and her resilience throughout her career highlight the importance of facing adversity with strength and optimism. Resilience is a powerful tool in navigating life's challenges. Number 5, challenge societal norms. Christy's refusal to conform to stereotypes about aging challenges us all to break free from societal expectations. Let her story inspire you to live authentically and redefine what it means to age gracefully. Number 6, the value of lifelong learning. With a 40-year teaching career and a continuous thirst for knowledge, Christy embodies the idea that learning is a lifelong journey. Stay curious, keep learning, and let each day be an opportunity to discover something new. Thank you, Christy, for sharing your incredible story and insights with us today. Your resilience, passion, and commitment to living life to the fullest are truly inspiring and only one of a million things that I am so passionate and in love with you about. To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. As always, remember that life's greatest adventures often come when we least expect them. Until next time, keep leveling up and embracing the extraordinary in your everyday life.